The call came in just after sunrise, the kind of quiet morning where nothing feels urgent until suddenly everything is. A neighbor had complained about a smell drifting through the street, faint but wrong, like something forgotten too long. Police arrived expecting the usual trash, a dead animal, maybe a plumbing issue. The house looked normal, curtains drawn, no sign of a struggle. The daughter answered the door, calm, almost relieved, apologizing for the inconvenience. She said her mother hadn't been feeling well, said she'd been keeping to herself. Inside, the air was heavy, not overpowering yet, just enough to make officers exchange a glance. The daughter talked too much, filling the silence with details no one had asked for. Her mother was elderly, fragile, private, didn't like doctors. The officers nodded, listening, waiting. They followed the smell, step by step, past framed family photos, past a hallway where the floorboards creaked under careful feet. It led them toward the garage. The garage door was closed. The daughter hesitated when they asked to open it, just for a moment, barely noticeable. Then she smiled again and reached for the switch. The door lifted slowly, metal groaning as if reluctant. The smell grew stronger, sharper, final. What they found inside changed the tone of the entire case. A body, carefully placed, wrapped not in haste but in intention. It was her mother, dead, hidden, and it was immediately clear this wasn't an accident. At the station, the daughter sat straight-backed, hands folded, eyes dry. She answered questions politely, too politely. She said she'd found her mother unresponsive days ago. Said she panicked. Said she didn't know what to do. She repeated that phrase often. I didn't know what to do. Investigators listened, letting the pauses stretch. They noticed how she avoided certain words, how she never said death, never said body, just her. The autopsy told a different story. The mother hadn't died naturally. There were signs of restraint, evidence of a struggle that had been cleaned up with care. No broken furniture, no chaos, just control. Investigators went back to the house. They found bleached traces where no cleaning should have been necessary. They found messages on the daughter's phone, frustration disguised as concern, complaints masked as sacrifice, years of quiet resentment buried under responsibility. Neighbors came forward slowly, stories spilled out in fragments, arguments heard late at night, the mother rarely seen anymore, the daughter doing all the talking, all the explaining, all the deciding. What looked like devotion from the outside had been something else entirely. Pressure, isolation, a life shrinking room by room. When confronted with the evidence, the daughter finally broke, not with tears, but with anger. She talked about being trapped, about giving up everything, about a mother who controlled even from a wheelchair. Her words came fast now, tumbling over each other. Justification stacked on top of blame. She said it wasn't supposed to end like that. Said she just wanted it to stop. Police listened. They always do. When she finished, the room went quiet. The story she told didn't change the facts. The garage hadn't been a moment of panic. It had been a decision. A final act of silence meant to erase a problem rather than face it. The house that once looked ordinary now felt staged, like a set built to hide something rotten underneath. In the end, it wasn't the smell that exposed the truth. It was time. Time always does that. What was hidden couldn't stay hidden forever. And what began as a private family burden ended as a public crime, leaving behind one simple, devastating reality. Sometimes the person closest to you is the one capable of the unthinkable. After the arrest, the house went quiet in a way it never had before. Doors stayed open, lights remained off. The garage, once sealed and hidden, was taped and emptied, reduced to bare concrete and cold air. Investigators walked through it again and again, trying to understand how something so deliberate could exist beside ordinary life. Every object felt heavier now. Every corner seemed to remember. Records showed the mother had slowly disappeared long before she died. Doctor appointments cancelled. Friends told she was resting. Calls unanswered. The daughter had managed the narrative carefully, piece by piece, until no one questioned it anymore. Control didn't arrive suddenly. It grew quietly, fed by routine and unchecked authority. By the time anyone noticed, there was nothing left to save. At trial, the daughter sat expressionless as evidence unfolded. Photos, messages, timelines. Each pause between testimonies felt longer than the last. She never looked back at the gallery, never searched for sympathy. The story no longer belonged to her. It belonged to the facts, to the silence she had tried to preserve and failed. The verdict came without drama. Consequences rarely need theatrics. Outside, reporters spoke into microphones, summarizing a life reduced to a headline. Inside, a chair sat empty where a mother once lived. The garage door would open again someday, but whatever had been sealed behind it would never truly disappear. Some truths linger long after they're uncovered, reminding everyone that the most dangerous crimes don't always look violent, they look ordinary until it's too late.